Welcome back to the Pokedex Binder series. This is part 2 of ripping open 3 surprise Prismatic Evolution boxes. We've got 6 more packs to go through, and in the previous episode we saw the promos that were included and we opened up 6 other packs. So we're hoping for some hits out of these 6. And this is the Pokedex Binder series where I'm collecting one of every Pokemon in the Pokedex, upgrading each entry to its highest rarity that we can find, whether it's packing cards or buying them from whatnot, etc. Anyway, let's go ahead and rip these 6 open. Okay, so let's just rip straight from the top. Let's really hope for some luck this time. The other packs, they were okay. We didn't get anything major out of them, but let's see if we can have some better luck in this 6 as well. I feel like I'm opening everything upside down. Let's flip it around. Now, of course, if you see a little bit of shine, that's okay, but ideally you want that little rainbow border around the edge. Pinsir, Bidoof, Rescue Board, Dipplin, Area 0. We get the Heatran Pokeball, very nice hit. Look how colourful these Pokeballs are as well, the holo on them. And then behind that, we get the Applin Reverse Holo, and behind that, we get the Okidogi. And if you're familiar with the series, you'll know that this is definitely not going in because we've pulled loads of Okidogis. Anyway, let's go ahead and see which ones are new additions. So Dipplin we already have with the same card, but it's pre-evolution Applin we will be upgrading to the reverse holo. So at 840 we get a lovely upgrade to start us off, and then it's pretty much downhill from there. We've got Bidoof already in here with the reverse holo. Pinsir won't make it because of the art rare. Okidogi doesn't make it. Now this one is a bit more of a sticky situation because this is a Pokeball reverse holo, but if you take a look, it of course is just an uncommon. But I've got a Heatran already in here that's a rare holo. Now you'd probably imagine that the rarity of the Pokeball is probably a better option to have in here. Technical rarity, it would be that one. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to swap them around, aren't I? I want to have the Pokeball in. I think that's a cooler card to have. Technical rarity sort of downgrade, but probably rarity upgrade. So Heatran is out. So pack number 2. If you're enjoying this content, please consider subscribing. I like to make it quite chill and just regular person opening packs and seeing what we can find in the old shops and seeing what we can add towards our goal. Oh, we end up with a shiny energy card there. That's a very nice start. Hoot hoot. Dreepy. No tank. Palu. Regigigas. Lacey. We end up with the Max Rod Ace Spec, very nice. And behind that we get the Seeking Pokeball, very nice. And behind that we end up with the Noctowl. So I know this pack's gonna probably stink. It's Hoot Hoot, doesn't go in. Miltank we already have. The same for Riolu, the same for Dreepy, the same for Regigigas, the same for Noctowl. However, the Seeking we get a Pokeball upgrade from the exact same card. So that upgrade is to entry 119, and that's Seeking. We did it, guys. Let's go for the one on the far right. Let's go for that one. Code one to the front. Flip him and read. Little Eevee. Execute. Dunsparce. Bronzong. Professor Torres C scenario, and behind that we end up with the Hoot Hoot reverse, and behind that we end up with another Groudon. So Eevee, if you followed the last episode, you'll know we picked up the Pokeball version, so that is obviously already an entry. God, there's a flow and a pattern to this episode, isn't there? You'll never guess what. Execute, exact same card. Just like in the previous episode, we've got Bronzong already. Dunsparce, we have the art rare for. Hoot Hoot, I feel like I've showed you this a million times because I'm recording both episodes back to back. We already have the art rare for. And rounding off this pack with Groudon, we've already got it. The exact same card.
Seriously, nothing?
So far we have got plenty of dupes from the other episode and ripping those open. So let's just pray. Let's pray we can find something good. Again, opening the sort of same series, you're bound to get some dupes here and there, but this is quite a lot so far. Dusclops, Halucha, Sick Radar, Festival Grounds, Aromatzi, reverse holo. We end up with the Larvitar reverse holo, and behind that we end up with the Roaring Moon. Very nice. So can we start with something to do? Yes, we can. We've got a extremely minor upgrade. A common Harlucha is coming out for an uncommon Huktua.
What did he say?
For an upgrade to 701. And while we're on this page, Noibat we've already got. And in this pack we picked up 2 Aromatzis. Of course, one is the reverse holo, so that gets priority, and we'll be swapping out another of the same card in its common form for this one. So at 683 we get an upgrade, but with a new edition at 1005 we get the Roaring Moon. 2 packs to go. Let's go for the right one. Whoa, nice rip on that one. That was a satisfying rip open of the pack. Let's take a look. We end up with the shiny grass energy there. That's a nice little addition. I quite like collecting those as well. Goldeen, Applin, Sneasel, Hoot, Diplin, Heatran. We get the Explorer's Guidance with the Pokeball. Very nice. Behind that we end up with the Umbreon reverse holo. Very nice, very subtle actually. That's got very little shine to it. And behind that we end up with a Mary. So we are just going to simply start this episode off by saying Goldeen is a dupe, Hoot, Applin and Diplin. I can't be asked to flick backwards and forwards between all the pages. You've seen these across both episodes now, these exact artworks. I've seen Hoot more than I've seen my wife. Heatran, another card that's not going to make it in because we've got the Pokeball variation. And then we end up with Sneasel, which we already have in a reverse holo version. Umbreon's in though at 197 to save this pack. Last pack, come on then. Oh, 2 satisfying rips in a row. That was the most random way of doing that. Honey. Litleo, Drakloak, Slowking, Code Breaking, Okie dokie, and behind that we end up with the Dunsparce again. So carrying on exactly where we kind of left off with the Umbreon, we end up with Slowking, but we've already got it. Cottonsee's in though at 546 as a new addition. Litleo, we already have. Drakloak, we already have. The Okie dokie, as you already know, we already have. And to wrap off this episode, we're gonna get a non-entry with the Dunsparce. So that one's going to go in, of course, with the other one from the previous episode. So as always, we head back over and we take a look at decks, which lets us know we end the episode at 558. So that concludes the 2-part series of the Prismatic surprise boxes. As a really tough couple of packs to be opening. I knew these kind of episodes would come up. They're going to come up when you're doing this type of series and you're trying to upgrade cards to their highest rarity. You're going to hit kind of a certain level and then the cards are going to have to be really rare to try and find to upgrade it. I did think we'd maybe get a couple more in here in terms of new entries to the Pokedex Binder, but listen, that's not a problem. This is a long challenge. I know this is going to take a long time. Maybe it's a lesson potentially, you know, if you're rushing out to get packs, you know, for certain goals, you know, maybe your goals are a little bit easier than mine potentially, or certainly easier to achieve, but there's no rush to go and get them. And, you know, there's never always a guaranteed hit. And that just is what it is. The promos that we got in there, the stamped promos, were the best things that we actually got out of that. But I've got 3 boxes for storage, so that's great. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please consider subscribing to the channel for more Pokemon content, and I'll see you in the next one.